I'm telling you, every good day starts off with a cold start for the boys. Well, boys, it has been no secret that I've been a little down and out for the last couple of days, but I can assure you today I'm back and I'm chilling. I'm good. So, kind of to backtrack a little bit, I guess if you happen to care, I got pretty freaking sick a couple days back, and I feel like I fell off of literally everything. I fell off of my diet, my nutrition, my training. I wasn't waking up early, of course, because I was super sick. And like when you combine all of these things together and then you're not nearly as productive in the shop, it's very, very easy to just start feeling extremely down on yourself. And I was thinking yesterday, and I've probably heard somebody say this before, but I feel like at least this is true for me. My biggest enemy it's not haters on the internet. It's not haters in real life, even though there isn't any. My biggest enemy is my own personal freaking brain. Now let me explain that. Whenever I get into my own mind about like having these extreme self-doubt issues and things of that sort, my own mind telling me that I ain't good enough, that I don't know what I'm doing, like all these crazy different things. But one good way to combat that is, well, what I did is yesterday I went to the shop. I was there for like half the day, and I was like, screw this. I'm literally getting nothing done. Came home, hung out with Bobby, went to the gym, just got my mind off of everything. And then I was finally able to like stand back and analyze. And that's when I realized, I was like, dude, you're sleeping in an extra 2 hours. You're not doing your cold immersion therapy, it's called, in the morning. You're not reading. You're letting your diet slip up. Your training ain't like it should be. All those things stacked on top of each other is a perfect recipe for disaster. So, yes, all that being said, I'm excited for today because today we're putting new freaking wheels on the STI. I powder coated the wheels that were on there. I don't like them. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't like how those turned out, and I need to do some stuff on the interior. I'm not so sure if Bobby's able to come through today and help out or not, because she's obviously the interior goat. So if she could come through and help out with the limited STI leather interior, that'd be great. If not, I'll get her cleaned up myself. And then there's a couple other little things. I'm trying to get back to work on this yellow Evo, but I really don't want to just leave the STI hanging. Like, it's so freaking close to being done that we may as well just get it all the way done. You know what I mean? So that's the plan for today. And then I want to go drive the car. I want to go enjoy this freaking car. Now look, I never want to be one of these self-pity people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Every single human on this planet has freaking problems. But if I can help one person get off their ass and get back in the game, one person that's going through the ringer, if I can help one human, you know, it's worth it. It's worth having those types of talks and types of discussions like, you know, that I had to have the other day when I was building them Brembos and I was going through the ringer, man. It also helps to have quality people around you. Literally what helped me the most snap out of my BS yesterday was Bobby. I was talking to Bobby for a while, and then she finally just like pretty much said, "You're just being weak." And I'm like, "You're right. You're freaking right." And then we went to the gym, trained legs, and all was well. So here's how the car currently looks with the current wheels. I know they're very, very black, so here's an up-close shot. Of course, this thing is a budget build. Putting a set of $4,000 TEs on it doesn't really fit the budget build mindset. So the only other option is to potentially steal wheels from another project. Let's do a quick test fit, all right? Oops, almost baking my fender. So what I have here is another budget wheel. Now these were meant for this car right here. These are meant for the blob eye. That's what I ordered them for. But I really do think these are gonna look good on the Hawkeye. Most likely better on the Hawkeye than they would with the blob eye. These guys right here. These are 18 by 9.5, 22 mil offset. And these are, I hate to say it, but another set of reps. But for 600 bucks, I couldn't say no. Let's just see how they look. Let's see if these would potentially look good on the Hawkeye. It is incomparable. It's not even fathomable how much better, in my opinion, that looks versus that. That is so much better. That actually makes me really enjoy this car. I'm definitely going to be stealing these, mounting a set of tires on these things and putting them on the Hawkeye. There's an up close shot. I love how much more noticeable the brake caliper is as well. So these are a rep of the 57DR from Ray's. I think they're made by Circuit. And once again, I was just browsing eBay, doing what I do best. And I literally think these are $590, maybe they were $699. It's either $599 or $699 on the good old eBay, which is ridiculously cheap compared to, of course, I'm a big fan and big advocate of real wheels. I try to run real wheels on all the cars, but it all depends on the build, man. If this thing is supposed to be a budget build like it is, trying to do the entire build for less than $2K, of course, when you put $4,000 wheels on it, it kind of blows out the budget and you're left with nothing else. And you're in the negative. Those look sick. Let's get some tires mounted up, get them balanced, most likely gonna ceramic coat these, and we can see how she looks. I did decide to bump up tire size from a 225, which is what we're running on the current wheels, to a 245. 245/35 is the tire size going on these guys. Yellow dot to the valve stem. I don't know what the red dot's for, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the yellow dot that goes to the stem. I could be doing this wrong my whole life. Here's what it says on tirebaydirect.com. If both red and yellow dots are visible on your tire and you don't have any dots or markings on your wheel, red takes precedent over yellow and you should align the red dot to the valve stem. I've always done yellow, always. Interesting. That could be why my tires always take a minute to balance. Good sign that you ain't got too much stretch is when you don't need the tire blaster to mount your freaking tire. These puppies I'll be running at 35 PSI. Beauty. All right, let's do some testing. See if it matters. Aligned to the red dot versus aligned to the yellow dot. So this one here is aligned quite closely to the yellow dot. It might be an inch or two off, but it's pretty close. Set the width, 9.5 inches wide. Not bent, it's a good sign. So this one right off the bat, 1.5 ounces on the inner, 1.25 ounces on the outer. Now there's a couple reasons why I think going with real wheels is always a better move. Oh Lord, this one takes a whole lot of weights. I'm running out of weights too. I got grays, but not enough black. Come on, Devin, why'd you do that to me? Real wheels, they're usually most likely forged. Rep wheels like these good old Jimmies are cast. So if you were to get in a wreck or hit a big old pothole or something, a forged wheel is gonna bend. This thing's just gonna most likely shatter. I've never experienced something like that myself. And then just from I guess you could consider it like a moral aspect of supporting the companies that designed this wheel. You could look at it from that aspect as well. That's why the 99% of the time I am running real wheels, unless it is like something like this where there's truly a budget with the car. Then you can't afford it. This one's taking 2 3/4 on the outer and 2 on the inner. That is a hefty amount. I'm curious how this properly aligned tire is gonna balance out. Hopefully good, because we ain't got no weights left. Okay, so here is the wheel and tire combo that is aligned to the red mark. Let's see if it's any better or balances easier than a setup aligned to the yellow. Watch it take no weight at all. 3/4 on the inner, 1 3/4 on the outer. Maybe a little bit better, not really. Well, here's a direct side-by-side of each wheel. The old Idle hand, they're like a DS-08, I believe, maybe 09 is the model, versus the Circuit whatevers. In my opinion, this is a better look for this car. Now I do want to find a quality set of lugs. These ones are bummy, not fine, just order. So much better. All right, so that it's a fair and accurate comparison of the before and after, I need to apply some tire shine on these new tires. They look a little nasty. All right, so this is a before, and an after. I like it, much better. Now before I go drive this thing, I do need to do an alignment. I'm just gonna be taking care of that here with the good old fashioned string method. String alignment. Let's do this thing. So the first thing we're gonna do is hop in, make sure the steering wheel is perfectly straight. We want it as straight as possible. That's all good to go. Now before this, if you are doing any sort of fitment car, stance car, BS like we're doing on this thing, you want to get your camber set in first. So we're probably at like 3 degrees of camber, I would assume. Front and rear, I just left it how it was prior. Same fitment, same wheel, spec. So that's all good. Now you're going to go and take 4 jack stands or 4 somethings to tie string to. 1 back there, 1 up front, 1 up front, and 1 back here. Okay, now you're gonna wanna grab some string. Good old Walmart special right here. Tie it to your first post, and we're gonna loop her around the car. Okay. Oh yeah, this alignment is way off, which I figured it would be. If you want your camber zeroed out, you want the string touching the front and the back side of the wheel at the same time. As you can see, this passenger front wheel, this would be towed way out. If it's towed in, it'd be this way, neutral, towed out. Now, I don't know if I'd be able to recommend this method if you're taking your car on the track or whatnot. This is a do at your own discretion type of alignment here. Now, what I've done in the past is done my at-home string alignment method, brought it in, I did this one time, brought it into the alignment shop and had it checked, and they didn't adjust a single thing. So I know it's very, very close. And of course, after you do it enough times, you get a little bit quicker at it. But like I said, it's do at your own risk type of thing. If you do it yourself and you wear out your tires, don't blame me. So I'm gonna do the fronts first and then I'll move on to the rears. So if it's too far towed out, we need to shorten the tie rod, meaning we'll be bringing it in, threading it together. Now every time you do adjust your tie rods, it does move your steering wheel, so periodically you want to jump back in the car, re-straighten the steering wheel, and recheck your alignment. Well boys, let's pull this old girl outside and see how she freaking looks. I don't know about you, but with some fresh tint, this thing is gonna look absolutely incredible. Would be the proper word for it. What do you guys think? Everything is so perfect on it, besides that freaking red tint. Dang, dude. It turned out so good. Alrighty, boys. First drive. Hopefully this goes smooth. We have one issue as of right now, and that is the DCCD light is flashing, which I'm assuming that means something to do with the clock spring is going on, because that's really the only thing that we messed with that would cause that to happen. Curious how these brakes are gonna feel with my DIY bleeder that we did yesterday. Oh, they feel like they should. We do got a squeaky brake syndrome going on. Now keep in mind, I still haven't, oh man, that's loud. ABS light is back on, thankfully, but I still haven't driven it since I fixed all the vacuum leaks and all that good stuff either, so this thing's driving amazing. 2 feet from the shop, we got 3 problems. ABS light kicked back on, flashing DCCD, and a squeaky caliper or rotor. Something's rubbing on the rotor. All 3 should be a quite simple fix, I'm hoping. Well, maybe not the ABS light, it depends on what is causing the ABS light. And then this interior, oh my gosh, that is loud. This interior is in need of a deep clean. Not so much like a completely gut it and clean it type of thing, but at least pull out the front seats, get a good vacuum, and go to town. These headlights that I installed yesterday do cause the hyperblink issue. So there was a company called, I think it's Diode Dynamics, if I remember correctly. They make a flasher relay that was 20 bucks. That'll fix that problem.
Hi, honey.
Do you like my new car?
Holy cow. I love it. There's one thing that needs to change.
What?
The tint.
I like it. I'm keeping
so
it.
Bad. Look at your sunroof. It's all peeling. Or bubbling.
It's all flaking off, dude. It's gonna be such a nightmare to remove. All right, let's tackle a few last little things that this car needs. There's probably like 5 more things I want to get finished up with this car. Starting with the ABS light. So instead of using the mini Autel that I've been using quite a bit, I'm gonna bust out the Big Bertha, the expensive one, and see what's going on there. And then hopefully I can do like a clock spring reset type of thing, because I think, or the steering angle sensor reset. I think that's what's going on with the center diff control, the DCCD. Unfortunately, the Autel is dead as a doorknob. So let's figure out this brake noise. I'm pretty sure it's coming from this passenger front wheel, and it does not sound, it's not a consistent rub like a backing plate would be. Well, I was wrong. That's exactly what it is. Good old backing plate rubbing on the backside. There we go. Simple fixes are the best. All right, let's see about removing this tint. Even though I could just pay someone to do it, we gotta stay within the budget, you know what I'm saying? So I got my steamer here. If it comes off easy, I'll do it myself. If it's a straight pain, I'll have a professional with a professional steamer do it. Get her nice and hot. It doesn't just peel off, it's flaking off very, very badly. It's almost like there's 2 layers of tint as well. Oh yeah, there we go. Steam on the outside seems to go through the window and heat up the glue to where it just peels right off. It definitely does not smell good, I'll tell you that. So after all the tint is removed, we are left with a little bit of glue. So what I'm doing is going through and I'm going to fully saturate it with my knockoff Windex Signature Select Glass Cleaner with ammonia. I think ammonia is the active ingredient, I guess you would say, that softens up the glue. So let's get her saturated and soaked into that glue there. Grab a brand new razor blade and scrape the glue. Comes off very easy. I know tinters hate removing old tint. I can see why. And they charge a premium for it, so if I could save a couple bucks doing it myself, we may as well, right? Okay, both windows on the passenger side are cleaned up, ready for tint. I still need to do the sunroof and the driver's side windows, and then the back window, I'm not so sure how I'm gonna accomplish because it does have the defroster in it, and I know you can't scrape that with a razor blade, so I might have to leave that one to the professionals. Is this thing charged yet? It's been charging for about an hour. So we should be good. 20%. This thing takes forever. Well, let's hope it's an easy fix as far as the codes go. I'm just gonna do a full auto scan of the whole entire system. We don't have any airbag lights, check engine lights, anything like that. But I'm just gonna do a full scan and see what it says. ECM, pass no fault. TCM, 1 fault. ABS, 1 fault. DCCD, steering angle sensor circuit. And then ABS is rear left ABS sensor signal. Okay, hopefully, those both sound pretty freaking simple to figure out. So the first thing I'm gonna try is the steering angle sensor. These older Subarus are weird because if it's right in the center, or maybe 1 degree to the right, it says negative 256 degrees for the steering angle sensor right there. But then if we turn it just a touch, it goes down to 0. So it's not a very accurate reading. But if I can just do a steering angle sensor calibration, it should fix that. Well, after some more testing and diagnosing, it looks like I most likely dickered the steering angle sensor on this car when I had the rack disconnected. I'm guessing the steering wheel spun all the way one way and messed up the angle sensor because apparently they are pretty sensitive. So I'll have to order up a new sensor. I'm sure that's gonna fix that issue. In the meantime, let's get this interior cleaned up. Getting all this tint shipped off. I gotta pull the door panels to make sure it's all the way off. And then I'm gonna yank the seats. And I think that's about the only other thing I wanna pull on the interior to get it fully cleaned up. I figured I'd give you guys a quick tour of how this interior looks beforehand. Okay, there's the rear. Here's the front. All that tint is from the sunroof. Very clean car. All right. I'm gonna do a quick vacuum, pull the seats, do a real good vacuum, and give her a wipe down. The interior itself is all cleaned up. Now I'm gonna see what I can do with these leather limited seats. I'm gonna start with just giving them a good old wipe down with some glass cleaner to get all the dust off and whatnot. And then I'm gonna see about some leather conditioner to see if they'll kind of bring them back to life. They're in good shape, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they could be nicer. Also, I came across a pretty neat discovery while cleaning. Couple $100 come up is the way I'm looking at it. I'll show you guys here in a second. That seat is immaculate. Now I'm going to be trying out some leather conditioner from Adams Polishes that Bobby has laying around. So I don't really know how this works. I think I just put it on this foam applicator. It says, apply a small amount of product to a clean red applicator. Well, I got a white one. And apply it. Okay. I feel like I could just use a microfiber towel. And it probably would do the same thing. Got a clean microfiber here. Microfiber, not microfiber. Definitely adds a little bit of shine, which is what I was wanting. I still need to do this to the Evo 8 SSL seats. The 8 SSLs and these limited STIs, pretty much the same seat. Pretty freaking similar. Now, of course, there's a little bit of cracking on the bolster, but for being a 2007 seat, pretty nice. After that leather conditioner soaks in, it has a really nice, even sheen to it, which is, of course, what I was going for. Plug everything back in. Before I show you guys my magnificent discovery with this car, I got something even cooler to show you guys. So our last Vossen drop was heavily Subaru/STI themed, and I heard all the Evo boys saying, where's the Evo stuff? You ready for this? My Evo friends, this is even cooler than the STI themed drop that we just did. So here's the backside. We have all of the models of the Evolution, 1 all the way through 10. And here's the front side. We got this coming out in a couple different colorways. And of course, hoodies. We're gonna have Evo windshield banners, which I will show you guys here in the next upcoming days leading up to the drop. But the drop is on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday at noon PST. So don't miss out if you want your chance, if you want to get your hands on one of these beautiful tees. Not bad, other than the pointy nipples. Not bad, huh? Okay, so I was chilling, cleaning away. I opened up the glove box and I see this cable. I'm like, this cable looks awfully familiar. Okay, OBD2 on that side. If you guys know, you know what that side is. And I'm like, okay, well, it's clearly an access port cable. Cool, this car used to have an access port. I was like, I wish they would have left it in the car, thinking it would be with the cable in the glove box. And then I'm cleaning out the center console, and I open up and see a access port. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and see what kind of dune this thing has. I don't know why you'd run an AP on a completely stock car. I mean, it's got like a cat back, but screen is a little suspect. Not so sure if I can even read it. I wonder if I could send this into Cobb and have the screen replaced. Well, never mind. It's got an access port with the car. Unfortunately, the screen's broken, so I cannot see anything. I can't read anything. Nothing works. I thought it was cool. Would have been cooler if it worked fine. I guess I'll give you a little tour of how it looks after it's all cleaned up. Here's the dash. Nice, beautiful seats. Entire center console's all cleaned up. Not quite the Bobby spec of an interior detail, I would say. She's quite a bit better at it than I am, but overall it's still pretty nice. Only thing left to do on this car, in my opinion, that I want to do is tint. Or at minimum, just get that rear tint off. So I need to do some research and figure out the best method of going about that. And I'm sure I'll just go ahead and get this thing dropped off and retinted. Not red. Maybe I'll nut up and I'll attempt to do it myself. Guess we'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'll see you boys when we start working on an Evo again, which is tomorrow. Goodbye.